Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to episode 112 of In a Good Way podcast. Um, I had something really cool happen that I wanted to share, right? So before it's like the timing and everything, right? It's pretty cool. It should have been something kind of freaky because I had this dream last night, which I guess turned out not to be too much of a dream. And because of the title I'm gonna put on this, the algorithm. So if anyone comes across this is a spiritual channel. So you could listen to the information I'm gonna talk because it relates to a certain character. If you're reading the title, then you know what I'm talking about. Um, so it's pretty interesting. So let me get into the story, right? So just fair warning for anyone coming across this video because of the algorithm or something. This is a spiritual channel where we dive into everything, right? So that's the fair warning. If it's a little too much, you don't have to watch it. You could tune out. But so check this out. This is what happened to me last night. So I had this vision. Oh man, I wrote it down because there was some other crazy stuff happening, but it's fine. Then I don't want to make it too long. Um, so what happened was something was attacking me, right? Like not attacking me, trying to, right? There was this figure, and it was like, it looked pretty like a scary looking entity, right? But what happened was it was blind, and I got to know that it was in Orisha, right? In the thing, it was very clear that it was in Orisha. But then all these, like, at the moment that they popped out, what I thought were demons came out to protect me, right? Um, but then after I heard it clear that they were Orishas, right? But at first it was like I was confused, like, why are all these demons coming out to protect me, right? Then I made that other video where like I sent a demon away, right? So it was pretty interesting. So I think it was almost in real time. I was very coherent in this vision. So I was able to see, right, what was going on, and I was able to acknowledge what was going on. So I was like, why are all these demons protecting me? Like, whoa, like that's crazy. And amongst one of these demons was Deadpool. So then it got confused. I was like, what? Like Deadpool, right? But then I understood they were Orishas, right? So this thing was trying to like come at me, and basically they were like, nope, you're not messing with him, right? Like, and I think that thing was kind of confused too, right? Like this Orisha was confused, but it was like someone was sending them, right? Someone was sending them. And Orishas, for those that don't know, I haven't really delved that deep into Orishas, but they have to do with, like, I think they could be tied into people that practice. I believe I read Santeria too, but I don't know if voodoo people as well that practice voodoo might, you know, pray to Orishas or have a connection with them, right? So I don't know if it was that, like, someone trying to send this Orisha at me, but all the other ones jumped out like, no. And it was even confused. And I was even kind of like tripping out, right? So, anyways, when I woke up, the first thing I did was like, it was in there, right? So I was like, okay, there's something to this. Cause it was like, okay, maybe I just saw, I think Deadpool literally comes out today. So I was like, I just seen a Deadpool commercial. This dream might not mean nothing because it's just like, okay, this is a little, even for all the things I see, right? Deadpool. But sure enough, I look it up and Deadpool pops up, and I was like, what? And it said, like, basically, like, Deadpool is based off an Orisha. So for those that don't realize how many things they put into everything, right? Whether it's Disney stuff or Marvel stuff now, right? I would have never expected that. But, I have seen things. Like I always mention how even my first tattoo, it was tied into like a video game. Like I was literally playing a video game. I drew something for my first tattoo. I went to give it to the artist. And when I got back home, I kept playing the video game. And then there was the tattoo that I had just given this person. And I was like, what? Like, this is insane. So that was one of my first realizations of like that things. And that was in my early 20s. So that I was starting to see like, whoa, there's something to these movies and video games. Like everything's really realer than we think, right? Like it's just crazy. So, anyways, watch. I'm just gonna read it to you guys. So after not just seeing Deadpool as an Orisha, they based it on an Orisha, and I'm gonna put the picture right here. The Orisha is called Elegua. And right here it says Elegua is a powerful Orisha who is associated with the sea, storms, and protection. He is often called upon for guidance, strength, and protection in times of need. So there it was. See, I didn't even, I guess, ask, but it came to protect me, right? Um, and also right here, there was this other thing in the one where it shows the Deadpool thing. It says the red black mask represents the Yoruba god Elegua or Elegba, who is worshipped in the Caribbean and Latin America in the Candomblé. Let me see. Did I get? Is that an iron? Yeah, Candomblé and Santeria religions among others. So, like I said, like I believe voodoo as well, that kind of stuff. In the Winti religion, he is known as Leba. For any ceremony or ritual, permission is first required from him to proceed. He has the power to open the gate from the spirit world to our world. At the same time, the mask also refers to the mask of people in everyday life and how they only show their real, often gruesome face when it comes to economic gain and status. Damn, so that's kind of, you know, maybe it's like that exposing, the shadiness. And so in this case, it was like, I guess exposing to me that someone was trying to send me something. And that's not the first time, right? So I've woken up where something was trying to, like, I could hear it clearly, right, and stuff like that, and I was like, what? But this was a beautiful thing to, and I'll get into it right now. But here's the thing where I was like, okay, maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe someone didn't really take Deadpool from this, but then that's where it was like proven that nah, Marvel doesn't know what's up. Like this was no mistake. It's clear that Deadpool did come from the Orishas, because right here it says gods of Wakanda, Earth 616. So they had literally put Orishas in the Marvel universe. So right here it says history. According, and I'm gonna slaughter some of these names, so bear with me, right? But this is basically how it goes. According to the griot spirits of the Dejalia, the Orisha originated during immemorial times in the land that would become Wakanda. When the pilgrims who traveled to this land entered in conflict with the native beasts that lived on it, the originators, the heroes that rose among the humans were ascended to gods on faith. These gods, the Orisha, were Thoth, Koku, or Koko, Mujaji, Ta. It's like a P, but I think it's silent. Ta, Niami, and Bast. The humans and the Orisha defeated the originators and banished them to the nether realms beyond the group of gates. As part of their duty, the Orisha became guardians of these gates. So there it is. You know what I mean? Like they were even embedded into the Marvel universe. So how far fetched is it that then Deadpool will become someone that they took from the from the Orishas. Also, also, what do you call it? The one that I saw that someone tried to send at me with the one that was blind. Sure enough, I think that was the first thing I looked up. Actually, it was like blind Orisha, and it was a female Orisha, and they had to do with sickness, like when they bring sick. I think it was like sickness and smallpox and all that kind of stuff, right? Not that I'm sure this Orisha had good qualities as well, right? But whoever was trying to send it to me, you know, and this is what the thing. The funny thing is, just yesterday, and it's funny, right? I think like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it that Deadpool literally comes out today, and so now I definitely want to go watch it. Whatever showing they have, I'm gonna go watch it because I'm just blown away. Like, this came to me in a dream. Like, when would I ever imagine? So it shows, and just yesterday, I was literally thinking, wow, like, yeah, there's so much knowledge. Cause see, I'm someone that loves knowledge, right? And I love boom, 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 boom learning. So I was like, yeah, it makes sense why we would come back so many times for those of us that yearn to learn, right? Even our spirits, because there is some people that are spirits that don't really care to learn. You know what I mean? I'm sure they're learning anyways, but not on that level, right? And so I was literally thinking that, yeah, it makes sense. How many lifetimes we gotta probably come just to all the knowledge, right? I think I literally told somebody that, like, and then boom, all this happened, and I was like, wow, like, oh, this is what happened. So it's almost like every time someone tries to, it's almost like if I had, I don't know, I wasn't good with them, right? Like something maybe from a past life, right? Maybe from a past life, there's something I have a connection with the Orisha, which I had seen before, and I still didn't delve deep into studying them, right? Because in this lifetime, I do have a lot of the, like, oh, is it wrong? Maybe I shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, there's all those reservations that's embedded in me in this lifetime, right? Uh, but then see, once I'm guided to it, boom, that's just like the tarot, right? I said like the first um came to me in a dream, and I'm like, what's this? And I looked it up, and boom, 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 and then everything I had dreamed was accurate from when I looked it up, right? So, like the book of I think the book of Thomas or Gospel of Thomas, where they say like they believe those are the real words of Jesus. That came to me in a dream, and I was in these catacombs, and someone that I knew in this life that is also very tapped in, uh, they kept telling me the book of Thomas, and then and it was crazy because we were under these like it almost looked like that, like one of those Indiana Jones movies where they find like the catacombs where there's people buried underneath, and the roots were all growing from the side of the walls and all these things, right? We were underground, and if something was hidden, right? And then they kept telling me the book of Thomas, and I woke up and I was like, book of Thomas, and I think it came out the Gospel of Thomas, right? And so it led me to that. I've been led to so many things that there's no way, so I think in all these lives, that's been carried on. But that's for some reason it felt like I have, whether it's from a past life or something, but just that I'm kind of curious about. I don't feel like the Orisha really understood. Not that it's like I think it was, for some reason, it was just whoever was trying to send it at me. It was, but like it didn't, because it looked kind of like confused. Why was everybody jumping up to protect me? You know what I mean? It was kind of interesting. Uh, how did I look it up? I think I put blind Orisha or something. Oh yeah. Let me see if it talks. Oh, I think it's the chief goddess, right? But yeah, but anyways, it had to do with like I'll look it up after. I don't want to. Um, so I'll just end it with this. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? I thought it was cool with the whole Deadpool thing. So I'm gonna put that in the title. Deadpool is in Orisha, right? Because Deadpool's in Orisha. So now you know. I know there's people that are more like sensitive to that, and they'll be like, "Oh wait, I don't want." Maybe they won't even want to watch it anymore, understanding that these characters are based. But look at Thor. Hello, like you know what I mean? Like Thor is based on I guess it's the Viking god, right? Or Thor is like a Viking god, or and Odin and everybody, right? Um, so yeah, it's not like you know, it's not like they haven't done it before, or it's so now right? So that I was blown away though, because everything, like I said, how it came to me. Um, one thing I was thinking about for some reason, I get it, because right, I just posted that video. I hadn't posted really any videos, and then I post that video, and right away I get this thing, right? So it's crazy, like being out there, you do deal with negative energies, right? And I think I mentioned briefly, I'll tell that story eventually, but last year, right, I dealt with this person that was like never in my, like all the people I've dealt with in life, right? I've dealt with people, from when I was young. I've been around gangbangers, freaking, people that were hustling, prostitutes, even freaking strippers, uh, you name it. Like I've been around them. And I've never been told this by the spirits, but last year, when I had this encounter with this person that was supposedly like, they were someone that was very interested in walking in a spiritual walk. Um, and the spirits kept telling me, they were like, and just like how the spirit world, they don't talk, they don't yell, they don't do nothing, no theatrics. It was just like, this person is unteachable. And I was like, huh? And they were like, this person is unteachable. And then I was like, what? I was like, what the hell? Like, because usually it's like that, right? Anyone, no matter what they do, no one is beyond redemption. It's like I'm sure on that side they see that there's a crossroads, like that. There could be someone, they're a prostitute, and then there's a crossroads where they can choose, and that's like the tower moments. But it's up to you to make the decision, right? You could be a gangbanger, and you come across this road, and then it's like you have a choice at that moment. Is it easy? Of course it's not. Nothing's ever easy, but you have that choice, right? But it was like if they seen beyond whatever. I've never heard that. And with this person, this was a woman that was trying to be spiritual, supposedly. Um, but they were something else, right? And the spirit world was just saying this person, like they were telling me, like, don't even, and me, because in my head, I'm always like, I've had that fault of being too nice or too forgiving with things, but they were like, and this person they were something else. They were like, I don't know what was wrong with them, right? How twisted their mind was. Because I remember I even called them a narcissist. I was like, dude, you're a freaking narcissist. And they took, and till the next day, they messaged me and they were like, and it was clear, right? Like, it was funny that they even thought in their mind that I didn't catch. And then they acted like if it was the first time they had heard that word, and they were like, oh, the next day they're like, oh, I looked up the word narcissist, and it says that I should apologize even if you don't accept it. And I was like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? Like, it was just crazy, right? It was a whole nother, it was like a disconnected person. It was almost like, I don't know, it was just weird. It was like, but for whatever reason, the spirit world told me that. And it took me a while to really try to grasp my mind around it. But there's entities like that here. You know what I mean? When I was in college, I did an extra credit report where, they had invented this drug that basically made people like, let's say, you weren't giving something, right? You just weren't a compassionate person. They would give you this drug, and let's say you wouldn't give money to like a homeless person. All of a sudden, you would give money to the homeless people, right? Or just be more like empathetic. And what they found out with that study was that 5% of the population, even with a drug that made you more like that, 5% of the population were not affected. So that means, and back before, see, now they called it the 1%, right? But before it used to be the 5%. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but it was the 5% riches, right? Before it was the 1%, they used to call it the 5%, back in the days or whatever. And it went with that, right? Oh, wow, 5%. Because, yeah, to get to a certain level, you got to be, you got to not care who you crush on your way there, right? Like that. You just got to not care if you're burning down the Amazon, or you're doing this, or mining stuff in Africa to get all the stuff for the cell phones and this and that, right? Like, Apple or whoever, right? Like stuff like that, right? So there's certain things like to get to that 5%, right? And then eventually amongst themselves, they're like eating each other. So it became the 1%, right? Just like that. But there is that. Even since then, I knew like, okay, there's some people that all the prayer and nothing in the world, they're just like not compassionate. But I always thought like, what if maybe something, right? Even though it showed, even with the drug, like these people have no compassion, no nothing, right? And it makes sense, right? The hideous things that go on in the world, right? So I came, that's what I felt when I came across this person, for the spirit world to tell me like they're unteachable. Or maybe just for me, right? They were just like, don't even try it. Like, maybe, yeah, who knows? Maybe somewhere something's gonna click, but it just wasn't my job to do it, right? But I've never been told that, no matter who I've been around. And I've been around some characters, man. I've been around some people that have done some foul stuff. I think all this is just being triggered by even that yesterday, right? Like having that like like I don't know, it's weird to me whenever something like that happens, where I don't know, if someone wants to send something or stuff like that, it's fine, right? It's part of the spiritual walk. Like, all these things wouldn't exist, right? All the stories we've heard, or not even just the Bible, but then you got like in other parts of the world, they talk about entities and whatever, demons, spirits. I've heard that jinn aren't really bad or good. They're just like, but they could be, right? Either one, right? Kind of stuff. So there's just so many things, and so we know these things exist, right? So it's just interesting. I think I'll cut it there because I don't want to babble on, right? I don't know why I even brought up that other thing, just because that, right? Like, as we start this spiritual walk, like, not that as we start, right? Like I've see for people like me, like I just had a conversation with someone, right? We had a long conversation about this, like all this stuff, right? Sometimes a lot of times the conversations I have outside of these the stuff I post on the podcast are a lot more interesting. But hey, like I mean, damn, too bad. Like we didn't get to record them, right? The conversations. And it's fine, right? Sometimes they're not meant for everybody, right? So it's cool, but it's like that, right? Like you know, I think a lot of times, right, when you're called to do something, like you're a little more like hesitant, right? Because but maybe that because of that, because we know what comes with it, right? We know that it's not all glitz and glamour, that as people see you trying to shine a light, they're gonna try to you know to extinguish that light, right? That's just it comes with the territory, but nonetheless, I guess we just keep pushing on, right? So somehow it was just funny that all that happened, and I'm gonna end it there because, like I said, I don't want to make this too long and keep blabbing on. But yeah, I'm gonna go watch Deadpool for sure. I feel like I'm gonna see something in there that who knows, maybe someone that plays a bad guy will have something like that, similar to something. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. Like when would I have thought, right, that Deadpool was based on an Orisha, right? And so it's mind blowing to me. And who knows? Maybe they would say, no, no, it's not. But like I said, there was even already Orishas in the story with Wakanda and this and that. So it's pretty interesting. So okay, on the Derek. Thank you all. Hope you guys are all well. I do have actually, you know what? Let me ask a question. So I do have an opportunity to do some interviews in Spanish, but the person, I mean, it's gonna be a few that I can do in Spanish. I kind of want to because I haven't done a lot in Spanish, but obviously anyone that watches, they're bilingual as well, so I can do it in English or Spanish. So let me know if you know, if anyone does want to hear the Spanish ones. If not, then I'll keep it in English. It's fine. Like I said, they don't mind doing it in English or Spanish. So, I just want it because I'm like, I've only done one in Spanish, and maybe there's a lot of people that, to be honest, I even feel like there's a bigger audience, even like the Spanish speaking countries, right? It seems like, or at least they're more open to spiritual things, like a little ahead, not more open, right? Because I think the whole world's catching up at this point, but like a little more ahead of the game because a lot of the countries that now speak Spanish have always had connections to it, right? Like they've always believed like in saints or this or that or that. So they're a little more open to things. Even the ones that will front like they're not, like behind closed doors, like they really are open to it. So that's why I was like, maybe a lot of people will connect with the Spanish ones. But okay, just let me know. If not, I'll keep making them in English. And on that note, I'll end it there. All right, peace.